My dear friends, in the Gospel of Matthew, Matthew being a Jew, he knows what Jesus really means. Now, since he is a Jew, he knows that Jesus, who was born a Jew, he has been brought up in these Jewish traditions and Jewish laws. Jesus knows what is the importance of this law. And what is this law that Jesus speaks about? This is the law, the same law which our Heavenly Father gave in the Old Testament to Moses on Mount Sinai. And Jesus has been brought up in this law. And the law, if we see the first 5 books of the Old Testament, we see are very clear. They are very straightforward. They tell what to be done, what not to be done. It's very clear. And when we see in the time of Jesus, there are these scribes and Pharisees who look at a little thing, a little mistake if someone does not follow the law correctly. And that is why they are thinking of Jesus is that Jesus is doing something of his own accord, like he is doing which the law is not telling, which the law is doing the opposite. This is what their image is, but that is not what Jesus is trying to tell. And today's gospel is very very clear that he is trying to tell us that he is not come here to abolish the law, but he has come to fulfill it. And Jesus is trying to tell is, to his disciples and to all of us, and especially to the scribes and Pharisees who had made these laws, who had given the scribes, they had given like commentaries to this law and put more burden on the people, on the simple people, and if they don't follow, they have not followed the law properly. And if you see, in that way, that Jesus sees that thing and he says that I have not come to abolish it, but I have to come to fulfill it. In sense, like what we don't need to downgrade the law, what is there, but we need to transcend it. We need to take it a little higher. Okay, if we, for example, in this gospel, after this gospel passage, what we read today, tomorrow we'll not read from Matthew, we'll read from Luke. These days, since we are in Lenten season, if we read the further lines, Jesus will try to explain it. He gives some concrete examples of what he means today. And what he means is, for example, if you see the 10 commandments, there's this commandment, thou shalt not kill. Okay? It's very clear that we are not supposed to kill others. We are not supposed to get into the act of killing one another. And when does we do that? This killing will come only when we are angry with someone, when someone has done something wrong to us, when we are jealous about someone, we want to get rid of someone, that kind of things might bring us to that thought. But Jesus is telling us, okay, the law says thou shalt not kill. But what Jesus, he's going a little further and says, instead of getting angry with your enemy, that's why Jesus gives us another law, that is the law of love. He says, instead of getting angry with your enemies, pray for your enemies and forgive those who persecute you. So that is what extra Jesus is telling us to do. So my dear friends, Jesus is telling us when we follow these laws, it should not just follow for the sake of following. Okay, just because it is written in black and white, we have to follow it. No, he wants us to do it from the heart. He wants us to go beyond what the law is trying to not transcend from it. That is what Jesus is trying to tell these people during his time. And he is trying to tell each and every one of us also. We as Christians, followers of Christ, also sometimes we get obsessed with these kind of things. We have our church laws. Church wants us to follow certain things. Sometimes, we are too much obsessed with that. That if we don't follow, we have that kind of fear. If we don't follow this law, we believe that God will punish us. And then, if we don't follow this law, it is a sin for us. It is like that. Okay, sometimes it doesn't come from our heart. We do it out of fear, or we do it out of like just for the sake of doing, Yeah, like if you let us see in this Lenten season also, the church is calling us to follow some things like fasting and abstinence and all, no, and giving alms and all. Now we should not do this just because just okay, this is a Lenten season. We are supposed to do this. No, no. We are supposed to, it should come from our heart. When I was also earlier, before joining the priesthood, okay, my thinking also was like that. Okay, Lenten season is come, and now we are supposed to not eat meat, or we are supposed to, so that was the main thing, no? Then we are supposed to pray more and all. So it was not coming from the heart. It was just saying, okay, the church wants me to do that, so I'm doing it. Okay. So, my dear friends, today Jesus is asking us to realize, reflect and see what we do, no? These followers, are we doing it, does it come from our heart? Or are we just doing for the sake of doing, no? Okay? Otherwise, no, we will be just like, just because church says we are doing it, just say, okay, that is not, that should not happen. And let us ask God. Let us ask God for this grace. Like, whenever, like, for example, whatever is told to us, let it come from our heart. That is why the law of love, that is the most important thing. It should come that, okay, whatever we do, like in this Lenten season also, whatever we do, whatever we are told to do, should, like, bring us more closer to God, bring us more closer in love for God, bring us more closer to Him. If that doesn't happen, then there is no use of us following this fasting, or following this abstinence, or giving alms and all. It should bring us more closer to Him. Let us reflect and see. Let us reflect on our lives and see, whenever we follow these church laws also, are we doing it for the sake of doing? Does it bring me closer to Jesus? Does it bring me like, or does it bring me pride? Okay, because I have given alms, people should see. Or when you go to some functional and you see something, food which you are not, which you are supposed to abstain, but you are doing it for the, like, to show others, okay, I am fasting. Okay, let us reflect and see, and pray to God to give us the grace so that whatever we do, we do it out of love for Him. We do it so that we come closer to Him. Let this be our prayer, and let this be our grace.